toDIYfor. So I'm going to show you some great dollar store decor ideas for you today after I found a great find at my dollar store. I mean, you don't normally find this, but I found these really actually quite nice blankets. And the color is the color that we have for our bedroom. So it's very plain, basic, and simple. I'm going to upgrade it with a few different DIY techniques with other things that I picked up at the dollar store to make it look more expensive. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the second DIY, there's a bit of a fail there. Didn't exactly work out how I wanted, but nonetheless, we have it. It still looks pretty good. I'm gonna show you anyways.
So here's what I found at the dollar store. I was shocked to find this for just $4, not something I would normally see there, but I'm going to kind of DIY it with these products over here. So I've just got some paint and some fabric painting medium that, yes, I got all at the dollar store. And then this is a placemat, but I'm going to use it as a stencil. I just thought it was kind of a really delicate type pattern and it would create a beautiful floral pattern. And I was also drawn to this blanket because it is the exact color we have accented our bedroom with. So to make it a little more fancy, it's pretty simple. I'm just laying this out. I'm grabbing this fabric painting medium, which basically makes any paint a fabric paint. You mix it 1 part to 1 part and it works really good. I've actually used it in the past before and I grabbed it all at the dollar store. So when you're stenciling, something to keep in mind, I use this sponge brush here. You don't want a lot of paint on your brush, otherwise you might get underneath the stencil that you're using. So this does take a little while and you're going to stipple it. And here is the best part, the reveal. And I love this beautiful kind of floral pattern that it did on here. So I did a couple of these just alongside one side of the blanket to give it a fancier look and upgrade the blanket. Now for our next DIY, I have a styrofoam ball here and I picked up a 100 pack of bamboo skewers. I've never cut styrofoam before, so I grabbed my hacksaw to kind of cut this in half. And boy, is it messy. What a disaster that was to make that side just a little more flat. Sandpaper worked perfect for that. And then I'm grabbing all of these skewers and I'm cutting them in half. So I have 2 pieces now that I can jab into there. Mostly just because they were way too long to do them on their own. And this is a bit of a tedious process. Don't use a pair of scissors that you like. This will probably dull the blade. And you're just kind of sawing through there as much as you can until it can snap in half. So the way I went about this was just doing an entire line of sticks, stabbing it into the styrofoam ever so slightly so it was secure, and then just continuing to do that, just spaced apart and going across. So this is what it looked like when it was all done. I kind of decided to leave the front and the back plain. And here's when it went all downhill. Apparently, spray paint will melt styrofoam. I had no idea. It's kind of hard to see, but as you can see here, it doesn't look that great. But I've got some good suggestions for you at the end of this video on how you could fix it.
Okay, so kind of a toss-up. 1 for 2 there. I mean, really, what did you actually think of my semi-failed DIY? The final look is not exactly what I envisioned. I mean, with the whole melting of the styrofoam with my spray paint, I had no idea that was going to happen, but it's not horrible. Give me your honest opinion on what you think of that decor piece and maybe what you would do instead. In hindsight, I'm thinking maybe I should have used the air dry clay that you can pick up at the dollar store. I know I've worked with it before in the past. A, it would have been easier to shove all of those sticks into. B, it would have been a heavier base. And C, I would have been able to paint it and it probably would have looked a whole lot more like how I envisioned it in my head. But that's the way DIYs go sometimes. If you do try that DIY out or the blanket DIY, which I'm very happy with, I think it makes it look a whole lot more expensive. Let me know what your DIYs look like, how you style them at home. I'd love to see some photos. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at @JanelleSteeper and just tag me in those photos so I can check out what you're making at home. And also, come back, please. Welcome if you're new to my channel, and please come back, subscribe. I do a new DIY video every single Wednesday. So cheers, and I'll talk to you next week.